If people don't understand on how to do this, they're going to leave millions and millions on the table.
There's over $1 trillion that must be invested. Trump is already making a difference. He hasn't even taken office yet. Deal flow is going to start increasing. 2025 is going to be a banner year for M&A.
We're calling it millions to billions, scale fast, exit wealthy. Anything that is service related is just becoming such a big opportunity. The next 10 years is where you'll probably make more money than you've ever done before. And instead of saying woulda, shoulda, coulda, you can get on this now. Welcome to Can You Make Nine Figures Doing This, episode number 10. And I apologize. Adam and I has been so busy doing deals. In case you don't know, Adam Coffey, over 2.46 billion in exits, 58 companies acquisitions. I own over 70 companies and brands and 55 countries. And we're here to talk about buying businesses, or in your case, scaling fast, exiting wealthy. And the idea is either do roll-ups and put companies together or exit so that you can make the most amount of money exiting your company. Adam, let's talk about 2025. Obviously Trump being in office brought some confidence into the market, at least in the United States. Globally, there's still uncertainty. I don't think rates are going to come down that much. I think they'll come down a little bit. I think there'll be some initial inflation because that's also what's going to happen. And they're going to have to kind of rebound the rates. There's still private equities, hedge funds selling on trillions of dollars. And what they do is they want to put money into buying companies. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal that you sent to me, I sent to you, how more millionaires are created plumbers in America and the trends going all over the world. And if people don't understand on how to do this or scale their company fast and miss that window, they're going to leave millions and millions on the table. What do you see in 2025 in the year of scaling companies, exiting, roll-ups?
Yeah, well, first of all, so we've had a 75 basis point reduction in interest rates already over the last 6 or 7 months. Expected to have another quarter point, midterm, first quarter for sure. So down 1%. Look, private equity money has to be invested no matter what. The one cardinal sin that they can't violate is not putting money to work for their investors. So there's over $1 trillion. I've seen estimates as high as 1.9 trillion. Everyone says over $1 trillion. There's over $1 trillion, JT, that must be invested. Any downward pressure at all on interest rates is a green light for investors to come in and start putting that money to work. Donald Trump winning is going to be a boon for business over the next 4 years, guaranteed. And so
Well, at least two
yeah,
years, at least
yeah,
2 years,
at
right?
least
Because
two. We've got all
if it
three.
switches to a
Yeah.
Democratic Congress, it's going to be a stalemate in the last 2
Different
years.
this time, though, is that Trump is already making a difference. He hasn't even taken office yet. He says tariffs are coming. Justin Trudeau comes in and Trump's calling him the 51st state. If either do what I say, or sorry. Mexico, same thing. It's like people on the left tend to over worry about this tariff thing. Trump is trying to level the playing field. Trump, is using tariffs as a threat. But bottom line, he's good for business. How do I know this? The stock market went up 1,400 points the morning after he won the election. The NASDAQ went up 400 or 500 points within a couple of days after that. And so we're now already seeing an excitement, a return to what I'm going to call stability. And that's what the markets want. The markets just want to know, what are the rules going to be, for the next time period, the next 4 years. And clearly we're going to have business friendly climate, at least for the next 2 years, if not the next 4 years. And so as a result of that, I'm seeing a ton of money on the sidelines that has to get put to work. Deal flow is going to start increasing. 2025 is going to be a banner year for M&A. That's my prediction based on what I know.
And so where are they going to put the money? And has AI changed the reluctance of some M&A companies or M&A companies buying into thinking, oh my God, what if AI disrupts this industry? Obviously, we're doing several one in the home services business. We're doing accounting. And by the way, if you see this and you want to do it with us, we'd be more than happy to do this. Listen to the end of the show. We'll give you details. Do you see some hesitation, or people are just, I need to deploy capital and AI still hasn't been figured? So accounting, bookkeeping, home services, even IT, a lot of things that require manpower, pest control, landscaping, they don't seem to go anyway, but they're being gobbled up. Do you see a trend, like hypothetically speaking, if you have landscaping replaced by AI robots, right? They drop
Yeah,
off a
well, so
robot.
realistically speaking, we're in the caveman era of AI. So AI is the buzz, hundreds of billions of dollars being thrown by big software companies into developing it. I don't think we've even scratched the surface on how it's going to fully impact business. But the bottom line is, for the foreseeable future, money has to be put to work. And what is interesting, because I have been talking to a lot of PE guys about AI and the use of AI within the world of PE. And let me tell you how they're looking at AI. They're not concerned about what it does to potential investments. They're looking at it this way. They have to have an army of analysts who read hundreds of investment circulars every year to try to determine, out of these 300 deals we just looked at, which 10, which 30 do we want to dig into and actually spend time and money on? They're looking at AI as potentially a means of pre-screening some of these companies that are in the deal flow universe that's out there, to try to help them very quickly narrow their manpower in on the ones that they think are more actionable. So they're looking at it not as a delineator between what's a good investment or a bad investment. They're actually looking at it as a tool to accelerate the deployment of capital. You mentioned some businesses. Look, Elon Musk had this cool cartoon, or not cartoon, but this video recently where he had his robots walking around. How cool was that, right? Everybody wants to own a robot. I think we got a long way to go before we have robot plumbers and robot electricians and robot landscape maintenance people.
Good point.
So I don't think we have to worry in the near term future about any of that. So what I can tell you is 2025 business climate's going to be great. PE wants to deploy capital. Everybody's messing with AI. We'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it today. I'll worry about it in 10 years. Let's see where it takes us. But what I ultimately think is that AI doesn't replace humanity. It takes the low value work that nobody wants to do in any job and automates or eliminates or replaces it. But you're still going to need this. You're going to need human manpower, human brain trust, and you're going to need the knowledge base that humans have got. So I'm not worried about AI disrupting us anytime soon. 2025 is going to be a really good year. And it's a great opportunity for people to join you and I on this.
Yeah, we're going to put an event. We haven't done one in over a year because we've been too busy doing the deals, and we're calling it Millions to Billions, Scale Fast, Exit Wealthy. And those are for those of you who say, I have a business and I want to scale it so I can exit, or I want to do a roll up with my business, or for those who want to learn how to do what Adam and I does. And the whole purpose is, it's really how we find deal flow and find amazing people. I mean, we're doing a roll up in Australia because of a person we met here, there as well. And here's the thing, this is something we used to charge for $5,000. And we said, you know what? Let's just charge the cost of the room, $198, put 50, 60, 80 people in there, cover the cost of the room. One of them, we're doing close to your house, 20 minutes away. So it's convenient for you. And the other, we're going to Australia. That one's a little bit more expensive because obviously we got to fly Adam and his entire family, and they don't fly coach to go to Australia. So it's a quasi vacation, but we're doing so many deals in Australia. And I also think at some point, the next vacation your spouses want to take, I think we need to do it in Europe. And you need to listen to me because I read something. And by the way, the link is in the chat to do that as well, or go to JT Foxx Live. But in the chat, you can see the link to do that, adamcoffey.com. But the population growth in Europe is becoming a very big problem. And it's a very aging problem. And there is the solution of having immigrants to come in from Syria and other places, Afghanistan, all those, it's just not working, right? And so what's happening is that anything that is service related is just becoming such a big opportunity. And I think now people are going to say, well, I can have a business in Germany and France, right? Not just all in Germany. And I think there's going to be a big opportunity in roll-ups in the next 2 to 3 years in Europe as well. And this is why we're calling it Millions to Billions, because the millions are made obviously in real estate. And I've done over 1,000 deals myself, but this is how billions are made. This is a whole new level. But I would tell you, the big players are not doing it at the level that we're doing it, because they just want the perfect company with the bow and all this, and then take it to the next level. So if we can pave the work, and we're going to show you how Adam and I do that, you could do that too. Whether you don't have a business to roll up or you have an existing business, how is true generational wealth is created? Adam, what do you think about the Europe problem? It hasn't been necessarily
Well,
an
you know,
attractive
it's not
market.
only what you said with the aging population, but talk about old infrastructure. We got infrastructure in some places that goes back hundreds of years. You got plumbing that dates back to the Roman era, you know, in some countries, you know, in some areas. So I'll tell you that whether you're in Europe, the US, you know, wherever you're at,
Australia, yeah.
I'm really fired up about 2025. We haven't done this in a while. We just did this event. JT just did 5 days in Anaheim,
Kevin
California.
Costner showed up,
Yeah,
billionaire showed up.
mega success. You know,
Yeah.
what was it? 19? Mega success 19.
19. Yeah, I've done
You know,
19.
it's like if you weren't there, I just got to ask, why the hell weren't you there? But if you weren't there, you got one more chance. You know, and in February 1st and 2nd in Dallas, Texas, you can
And
come
then
join
August in
JT.
Australia.
You know, in August in Australia, you can come join JT and I live for a couple of days so that we can, instead of listening to just a podcast, you can spend a couple of days with us where we explain how all this works and is done in person. Come on, let's do
Yeah,
it.
that's a good point. You know what? Stop being entertained by this show and get into the game. Now we have a Zoom option, but you know what we're doing? We're charging more for the Zoom than we're in person. And people say, well, usually it's the other way around. When you're in person, it's how you get to know people. It's how you network with the private equities that are there, the money that is there, other businesses that are there.
You know,
And
JT, let's talk about Gary for a second. You know, you and I are now doing a roll up, you know, of an accounting business in Australia,
yeah,
and
yeah.
how that came about. You know, I think is a great
Someone
story
watched
for
this
our
show.
listeners.
Someone watched this show.
This show
This show
a
flew
few months
over
ago.
to meet me 101, then got on a Zoom with you, flew to America with mega success. And now we're doing stuff with him and his client base, doing a roll up. And maybe some of you that are watching this, you have a client base that may be interesting for Adam and I to work with or not. You know, we also have a big advisory business that we also have something. We prefer doing the deals as well, but sometimes some deals are just better off saying, you know what, you should do it yourself. We're just going to tell you how to structure it. So many opportunities. If you see the excitement, this is so good that I've really cut, and I have a lot of businesses, cut a lot of time cutting off some of my business and focusing this, because the next 10 years is where you'll probably make more money than you've ever done before. And instead of saying woulda, shoulda, coulda, you can get on this now. The link is there below. This is the 2025 edition. And can you make 9 figures doing this? You are right. You can do it. You are absolutely right. But here's the thing. If you don't show up, then nothing really happens. And we've seen this before. We're going to do fine. We have tons of deal flow, tons of amazing people. But if you're watching this, you can be next. And with an Adam with another $3 billion exit coming in 2025, he doesn't need to do this show. He doesn't need to leave his house for 20 minutes or fly over to Australia. People all over the world are going to come to that. You know why? Because Adam and I are people who did it yesterday. We're doing it today, and we'll do it tomorrow with you or without you. But we will do it as well. We just rather do it with you, even if you do it by yourself, to give you the right information, the right knowledge at the right time. Because
So I'm glad millions of people are entertained by this podcast, JT. If we can help them along on the way, that's great. You know, thousands of people from like 78 countries or something like that were in Anaheim a couple of weeks ago.
yeah,
And there's another chance here to get off your duffs, not just watch us and be entertained, but come hang out with
well, the
us
funny
for a
thing is
couple
that
of days.
unfortunately at that event, we had a lot of billionaires. Kevin Costner was there, huge celebrities. Unfortunately, it's just going to be Adam and me. There's no Kevin Costner. There will be
Yeah,
PE
yeah.
people. There won't be no Hollywood celebrities to go in there, but that's okay. Here's the thing too. This is where we roll up our sleeves. Whether you have experience or not, it just doesn't matter. The game is changing and you're in the path of progress. We
If
do it
you
together.
own a business, I'm going to help you and teach you. JT's going to help and teach you how to build it bigger and how to make it better. But at the same time, we're also going to teach you how to use this tool called mergers and acquisitions, M&A, so that you can get in the game and do a mini roll-up. And you can do it all by yourself. You don't have to work with us if you don't want to. The knowledge is cheap, and we're going to share it with all of you. But for some of you, you'll have a chance to actually work with us, you know, vis-a-vis Gary, who shows up and here's this, meets JT, talks to me, comes to meet us in person, and then boom, all of a sudden we're partners doing a roll-up in accounting in Australia. You could be next.
Well, we appreciate everyone. This is a wrap. We will put more episodes on there. We Adam and I had a meeting and be like, let's do 13 minutes because we both had a call. We've just been so busy. So we apologize, but we're announcing this millions to billions, which is basically scale fast, exit wealthy. So we'll see you at the next one. We'll see you on the next show. Adam and I got to get up at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning because that's the only time we're both
Yeah,
available.
if there's light outside in the window, we don't have a lot of time to talk, right?
That is a good point. All right, everybody. Thanks for being on this 2025 edition. We'll see you on episode 11. And if you want to see past episodes 1 to 9, listen to them, every single one, more than once as well. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.